Good morning and welcome back to Coffee Chats with Chett. Today I want to share with you 3 things that you can do to make sure that the vacation you have planned is actually going to help to rejuvenate you. Have you ever gone on vacation and then come back and felt like you needed a vacation from your vacation? Well, I certainly have. And hey, if it was a vacation that was jam-packed full of adventure and a lot of fun, totally worth it. But if it was a vacation where you just couldn't unplug from work and kept checking your email and kept working in your head and ended up just feeling exhausted, not so much worth it. And so throughout the years, I've become really disciplined in my recovery practice because I know that if I'm not taking time to recover, then I'm certainly not going to be able to perform at the levels that I want to perform at as it pertains to continuing to grow in my career and show up in a way where I am reaching my potential every single moment while I'm looking to continue to grow and expand what my potential can actually be. So one of the things that I've started to do in my career is take a 4 or 5 day long weekend because I find that that's the perfect amount of time to really unplug, leave my house, go on a fun adventure with my family, and I find that it's the perfect amount of time to really come back revitalized and rejuvenated. And it's really top of mind for me right now because I'm just back from a fun trip that I had with my family in Banff. And there are 3 things that I did before that trip and during that trip to really make sure that I was setting myself up to recover as well as I possibly could. And that's what I want to share with you today. So the first thing is what I call the mind dump. So last day of work, before I'm about to unplug and leave, I take at least an hour just to sit down and mind dump everything on my mind onto a piece of paper to really make sure that I'm leaving everything that I can behind and help to alleviate any anxiety that I might have in terms of forgetting something or dropping the ball on something. And then my biggest hack that I do is I actually write an email to my future self with my biggest top priorities, which is sent to myself automatically on the Monday morning. So tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., this is the email that I'm going to receive from myself to make sure that I can immediately plug back in, get synced into my top priorities for the week, and keep moving things along. So some of this is a bit confidential, so I've anonymized it a bit, but it goes something like this. Hello, me. Hope you had a great vacation and enjoyed soaking up your family. I know they matter more to you than anything. I'm proud of you for prioritizing spending time with them. In the end, that's what matters most. Now, let's talk about what's most important to get yourself regrounded and plugged back in. So then I have the top 5 priorities for the company that I work at. I have a couple of priorities listed for some board work that I need to pick up this week. And then I have a couple to-do items for my blog. And so that is it. So you can see that it's a mixture of reminding myself of my why and why it was so important for me to unplug and take that time to, pump my tires a little bit. Why not? It's fun to start the week with a high note and energizing yourself and reminding yourself that you're proud of yourself. And then I list my priorities. And so with that, I also disconnect from email completely. And so what I do is actually I delete email off of my phone so that it's not there. I have no temptation, which I believe is a really critical step. And, I'm fortunate to be in the line of work where it's not necessary for me to be plugged in 24/7. And what I always tell my team and what I remind my team, so I lead a human resources team, and what I often tell them is that we are in the business of changing lives. We aren't in the business of saving lives. And so because of that, we have the immense opportunity in every single day to make a meaning and an impact in people's lives. And it means that when we go on vacation, we are fortunate to actually really go on vacation so we can unplug, so that we can use this key and crucial time to recover, so that we can recharge our batteries and come back feeling better than ever and ready to take things to the next level. So number 2, I always try hard to find some me time on vacation. And so I have a spouse and I have a 2.5-year-old daughter. And for me, spending time with them is literally the highlight of my life. And I love it so much. And I want to soak up as much as I can when I'm with them. And I also know that it's important for me to have some me time while I'm away so that I can focus on taking care of myself as well. And so what I did over this break, while they were napping in the afternoon, so my spouse, my 2.5-year-old daughter took a nap every afternoon together. And I used that time for me time. And so I would sneak away and I would have a bit of a workout. There was a hot tub where I was staying. I was outside, so it was an awesome hot tub. And I would take some time to meditate while, working out. And meditating is part of my normal routine, even during a work week. What was really different and what I try to be really intentional about is that I'm not still working in my head while I'm working out, because I definitely do that when I am in my work week, in my workflow, my work routine. Working out for me is just another avenue to work, to get the creative muscles going and start to think about all the things that I need to do. And so I try to be as intentional as possible to really make sure that I am not slipping into work mode, and I'm really focusing on just taking care of myself, finding mantras to meditate on, and really just taking that time to slow down. And the third and final thing that I do, as I just mentioned, I focus on mantras, and the mantra that I really focused on this weekend was be present now. And so I'm only human, and I'm not gonna sit here and say that I never slip and go into work mode from here and there when I'm trying to completely unplug. And certainly it happened this weekend. But what I was able to do was catch myself in those moments and say, be present now. And a huge exhale would happen, and it would just allow me to recenter, refocus, and reground, and really make sure that I'm soaking in as much time as I can with my family. And if I was still having trouble after saying be present now, I would also just remind myself of the preparation that I did before my vacation with my mind dump, where I sat down, I put everything that I needed to do in order to set myself up for success, and just remind myself that everything is okay. I can pick things up on Monday and continue to move things along. And so the best thing that I can do for my future self is to make sure that I'm taking care of myself today. And that really helped, again, to reground, refocus, and make sure that I am in the present moment and taking care of myself from a recovery perspective, and investing my time and my energy and my love into what matters the most to me in this world, and that's my family. There are, of course, a few things from a foundations perspective for me that I do just because it is habit and second nature for me now, that I think really helps me in these moments of recovery, truly recover, so that I can come back rejuvenated. And part of that foundation that I've built over the years, one, I don't drink alcohol. I think alcohol can take away, honestly, from some of these recovery moments, because it negatively impacts the chemistry in our bodies, and it can impact our sleep quality, which is absolutely key when it comes to recovery. Two, from a sleep perspective, I do try to keep my schedule somewhat similar to my non on vacation days to make sure that I don't struggle with any form of jet lag that can happen if you really destroy your sleep schedule. And number 3, from a nutrition perspective, I do make sure that I'm still taking in a ton of fruits, a ton of vegetables to make sure that I'm still feeling good. But of course, I take the opportunity to enjoy the food and snacks around me. And I think actually one of my favorite moments from the weekend, we had chips in our hotel room. My 2.5-year-old daughter, like, we don't eat chips a ton at home, but we were on vacation and enjoying ourselves. And so she turned our hotel room into the chip house. And so she was always excited to go back to the hotel room so that we could go back and have fun at the chip house. So definitely taking moments to enjoy food and snacks and all the things while on vacation, while making sure that I still have my sound foundation in place, because I know that that's a foundation that I need to make sure that I feel good each and every day. All right, now it's your turn. Take out your writing tool of choice and let's jump into your coaching questions this week. So earlier I shared 4 things that are really critical to me as what I started to refer to as a corporate athlete, and really just an athlete in my entire life. That's kind of how I view things. There are 4 things that are really, really critical. So 1 is preparation, 2 is performance, 3 is recovery, and then 4 is repeat the cycle. And I find time and time again, people slip on number 3, which is recovery. And so that's what I want you to focus on this week, because I believe, and actually I know all the research tells us that when we recover, we perform so much better, whether we're true athletes and looking to take our game to the next level, or just simply as trying to live our very best lives and trying to become the best versions of ourselves, which is what this podcast is all about. I'm here to help you chase your potential, and that's why I believe it is incredibly important to focus on recovery. So let's jump into your coaching question. What can you do every week to intentionally help with your own recovery? Here are some ideas for you. Meditation, journaling, like following along with this podcast every single week, doing a walk in nature, playing sports with friends, having dinner with family and friends, going to a sauna, a hot tub, so many different things that you can do to help yourself recover. It's really about making sure that you're being intentional for it and blocking time in your calendar to make it happen. So that's your coaching question this week. And I hope that you turn that question into action and actually start to block it in your calendar to make sure that you make it happen. Thank you so much for tuning into the podcast this week and joining me in your journey to chase your potential. If this blog/podcast helped you in any way, I encourage you to share it with a friend that you believe that it could also help. And I would very much appreciate if you could like this video, subscribe to this channel. I am on a mission to help grow human potential because I believe that by doing so, we can create an even better world, one of which everyone belongs. Thank you again for following. I am in your corner. I am rooting for you. I believe in you, and I can't wait to see you soar. See you next week.